it's Dr. Toya here, and welcome to the By Default Highlight Reel, where we highlight our business owners by bringing you videos and interviews so that they can tell their stories in their own words. Please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more episodes. I hope you enjoy. It's Dr. Toya here, and I am joined by Carolyn Michael Banks, the owner of ATOP Possibilities in Memphis, Tennessee. Welcome, Carolyn.
Thank you. Thank you. Greetings.
Yeah. So tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I live in Memphis, but I am a native New Yorker for sure, born in the boogie down Bronx.
I hear the accent.
Every once in a while it comes out. And it's funny because one of the things that I did when I started in the tourism industry many years ago, the first thing we had to learn to do was to sound as if we come from absolutely nowhere.
Right.
And from a girl from the Bronx, let me tell you how hard that was. Yes, so I've come a mighty long way. But yeah, so I'm born and raised in the Bronx and have been in the tourism industry for quite some time now. Have been owner of a tour of possibilities since the 90s. Initially started in Philadelphia, which is a story I'll get into later. But here in Memphis, I've been in business now for 7 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So I want to go back to, when you got started, because I was reading your bio and when a story starts with what's all this Black stuff, it's going to be a good one, right? So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes. When I was in Washington, D.C., and what a place to start a tourism career. And I had excellent training. But one of the things that was so exciting was I was able to kind of run through the ranks pretty quickly and became a general manager of one of the largest sightseeing tour companies in the country. And when I became a general manager, for some reason, I thought I had some authority. I don't know, but you kind of get the title, right?
Right.
And one of the many things I chose to do was to add African-American history to the script, which to me made all the sense in the world. Couldn't understand why we hadn't had it before, but I kind of understood.
Right.
So I did the research, got everybody trained, and I knew my CEO rather was trying to get a hold of me, and I knew he just wanted to pat me on the back. So when I get on the phone, his first question was, "What's all this Black stuff?" And I said, "Oh no, was there grease on the seat? Do I need to send somebody a check? I'm a really good GM. I can do that. I can handle that." And he simply said, "No, wasn't grease. I'm getting calls, I'm getting letters." And this is in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. I'm getting calls and getting letters that people are just too uncomfortable with this information. Right. And I said, "You know what? I understand, because history can be uncomfortable."
Right.
African-American history specifically could be extremely uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean we don't share it. I said, our tagline was, "We relive history." I said, "We're not reliving it completely." So I just took it upon myself to do that. Well, he gave me an option to move to a new location, which was in Savannah, Georgia. They were going to open up an operation there.
Right.
And doctor, I'm telling you, I believe he didn't think I would say yes, because I love me some DC. But I said, "When do I move?"
Right.
I moved to Savannah, Georgia, did the research, got everybody trained. I added African-American history because basically it is history, period. Then he calls me, he says, "I want you to train another manager from another city." And I said, "No problem. I train people all the time. I love to do that. But I have one question." I said, "The question is, am I training my replacement?" Without hesitation, he says yes. Wow. And I know he thought I was going to quit then. I said, "Send the guy, send him."
Right.
Send the guy, I trained him, thinking Savannah is now my city. I get another call, "We're opening up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania." And I said, "Great, I'm from the Northeast. I'll go back.
Let's go. Yeah.
Let's go. Did the same thing, got everybody trained. I'm thinking this is, again, wonderful. And the longer story short, because I could go on, is that I was downsized once I got everybody trained. And I got to tell you, it was hard to wrap my head around that, because I had moved twice, blah, 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 blah. But it was an answer to a prayer I had been asking, but almost had forgotten. And my prayer was, if I had some time, I'd be doing this for myself.
Not your own thing.
And so in Philly, I had a chance to start the company, A Tour of Possibilities, there.
Wow. What an amazing story. So tell me more about ATOP Possibilities right now, as it is in Memphis.
We offer African-American historical and cultural tours of the city. And we are the only tour company in Memphis that offers regularly scheduled tours. And the market that I was really trying to reach initially was kind of the individual traveler.
Right.
There's another company that offers tours here, but you have to have at least 8 or 10 people.
Mm.
And I know I love to travel, and I often don't travel with 8 or 10 people, but I
Right.
want to get the information. So that was my niche originally. We're now shifting for a number of reasons. It's my virtual excursion.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, I'm able to bring Memphis to you. So if you're in DC or if you're in France, and no matter where you are, there's now a way I can bring it to you. But the other focus I have now is the groups that I'm dealing with are local businesses and schools.
Oh, nice.
So I've had a chance to do my presentation with the new renovated convention center. They got a whole new staff, and you need to know this city if you're going to be talking about it.
Yeah.
University of Memphis, I'm working with them. Rhodes College here in Memphis, I'm working with them. Teach for America. So there's just the opportunity that has really opened itself up primarily due to COVID.
Yeah.
Has expanded my vision further than I had even imagined it originally.
Wow, talk about a COVID pivot. That's great. So the virtual tours, was that a COVID pivot, or did you always offer that?
Well, you know what? I did group tours. They were probably step-on guide tour. You know, you bring your bus, I get on and do the whole thing.
Right.
But I wanted to start looking at ways I could reach more people without my body being, because I love doing tours. Let me tell you, I'm done when I'm done. But I wanted to find a way to figure out how to reach more. And I wanted to start my focus to be those who work in this city, those who serve people in the city should really, in my opinion, know the city from its history. You know, Beale Street is great, our barbecue is great, but that other thing that made the city what it is what you should know. So that's been my focus now. And the other thing I've kind of done is ATOP stands for a tour of possibilities. But it also stands for a tour on purpose. Because I have felt for years and years and years that given a platform, when you're given the opportunity to have a platform, you need to use it and use it wisely. So I felt it wasn't to be given the opportunity. It wasn't just, well, look on your right, look on your left. Let you know, we will have a good time on this tour, but you will also have some serious truth that often is not taught in schools, and you will be uncomfortable. But that is part of our issue, I believe, in this country. We have chosen to keep those things that are uncomfortable away, as if they went away. You cannot not talk about this, because it will always come up somehow, some way. So I'm using my platform in my little way to get people to be reflective about some things and to just kind of come to grips with what most of us don't know.
Yeah. And it's amazing how many people don't know the history. And, 2020 was supposed to be our year, because we love to travel, of local travel, because we always leave, like we always go to the airport, whatever. And we're like, there's a lot to see right here in this country. There's a lot to learn. And, not just because I'm from a different country, there's a lot to learn. There are people, my friends who are American, and they don't know a lot. So even going on your website for like 5 minutes, I learned something that it's not that I just never thought of when I saw, when you think of Memphis, think of Africa. It's like, wait a minute. Yes, of course, Memphis. I learned about that in Egypt. Like I learned about the city and everything. I never put it together, but just having that information there, it kind of brought it home. So, I think you're doing a wonderful thing, and thank you for using your platform in this way. It's definitely needed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So, tell me, what is next for, I know you talked about a couple of things. Do you see for your future for Tour of Possibilities?
There is a possibility of taking this, not necessarily on the road, but to work with people in other cities who kind of want to do what I do. So I'm looking at possible franchising in the future. I know what that means, though. I know that what I have to have ready and in place will take some work, but there's nothing I've done in my life that hasn't taken work. But I have people, a lot of, especially those from this country who do take the tour here in Memphis. I'm like, wow, wish we had this back in. So now I'm starting to look at, let's do this. And the thing is, LaToya, it's just a matter of there's so much we don't know.
Yes.
And one of the things I love about doing what I do is I have to constantly learn.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times I just sit back and go, how did I not know this?
Yeah.
And it's real clear to me that what we don't know skews how we see things today.
Definitely.
So a lot of times with what's happening today, people are acting like it's the first time it ever happened.
Nope.
No,
No.
This is happening over and over because we don't know it happened before.
Exactly. Kind of a segue, but I ask everybody when they come, what does it mean to you to be a Black business owner, to be a Black tour guide?
I believe it's a way to pay back. I do this for my ancestors. Nice. Starting with my mama. My mother was the one who instilled in me from a very young age that all things are in fact possible. That's the name of my company.
Yeah.
And, even though I was born and raised in the projects in the Bronx on the 6th floor, looking out my window, my mom is like, okay, this is where we are now. And she instilled in me the need for excellence. She instilled in me the need that there should be nothing that stops you. And every time you have those moments of, oh, woe is me, she goes, I want you to think about people who came before you, who would do anything to be in your shoes right now, anything. So she says, I'll give you a moment for a pity party, but then you need to get back on your JOB and do what you need to do.
Right.
And she was really the one who told me, who recommended that I look at doing what I did for myself. Because I knew I was good. You kind of know what you know. Yeah. But she said, you have given blood, sweat, tears. And the one thing about being in hospitality, you're always working when everybody's on vacation. Right. So, I was never with family because I was always working. Right. She says, look what you've put into this industry. Why don't you do it for yourself? And to answer your question is to me a responsibility to not only just be in business, but to be in business with a purpose.
Yes. Oh my gosh. A word. Thank you. So tell our viewers, where can they find you?
You can go to my website, atopmemphis.com, atopmemphis.com. I'm also on Instagram and I'm also on Facebook, and that's ATOP Memphis. ATOP Memphis. And I would love for you to connect with me. And I'm going to give a password. You ready for this, Dr. LaToya?
Yes.
So even though you introduced me as Carolyn Michael Banks, when I'm in my space and doing what I do, I go by another name.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And that name is Queen.
That's right.
And people, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I said, well, first of all, that's who I am.
Of course.
But second of all, it really does shift people's perception of who I am.
Right.
So all of a sudden we start with, if you need something, you can ask Queen. And, and then when I start the tour talking exactly about what you mentioned before, about how we're so connected to the Memphis in Africa. And I'm like, we've got to start the history there, not in slavery here in this country.
Exactly.
So if they, connect me and say Queen, I'll know that somehow we've crossed paths.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And I love what you said about not starting with slavery, that we forget sometimes that was an interruption. That was not where we started. And, and that's the tale of anybody from the diaspora. That's how my ancestors ended up in Trinidad. It was an interruption in our history. We did not start there. So I love that. Thank you.
All right. I say one more thing about your accent. I know we're going. Oh. But my father's people are from Antigua.
Oh, okay.
So hearing you speak, I want to do a little. And my mother's people are from Belize. Oh, so yeah. Oh, wow. And you have just made my heart go pitter patter.
Oh, I'm glad. Well, there is one other place that you can find Queen and a tour of possibilities, and that's on bydefault.com. She'll be one of our amazing business owners that will be featured so that you can find everything you need to live your best life, your best Black life. Right? So don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more episodes. Go to the website to sign up to join our growing family. We made this for you. She is doing this for you, right? So Carolyn, thank you so much. Sorry, Queen, thank you so much for joining me. This was a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Bye-bye.